There we go.
Yes. Jamming. Here we are with Master Phil in your corner with Dougie Fresh Friedman from Undefeated Studios.
Thank you.
We have a very special show for you today. And before we get into our incredibly talented guest, I'm going to do some shameless plugs. We have some virtual training going on. I'm featured on the UBQ Fit app. You can check that out. I'm on Burn Along. I'm on the American Eagle Live Facebook page. Join for $19.99 a month and get access to 130 some odd videos, more being posted. Just posted a new kettlebell workout today. And also have the kettlebell workout library subscription available online. And the new Bobby Bell Method online certification just got approved by ACE.
Nice.
So you can get ACE credits by taking this. And then it'll prep you for the level 2 that we're going to do in the fall. So,
very good.
Without further ado or any more plugs, we're going to bring you this man. I've known this man for, I guess, about 7-8 years now, something like that. Met him doing jiu-jitsu, and we just hit it off. I mean, the guy is ridiculously talented, way too humble. I mean, I'm talking about the art for the album covers for the Rolling Stones. He's always working on cool projects. He's an incredible musician. His band is called the Band of Brothers. Gone to see him live. I got his CDs. I mean, he's just a great guy. His wife is awesome. His dad's awesome. He's got it all going on. So without further ado, I would love to bring to you into Master Phil in Your Corner podcast, the lovely and talented Brian Fitzpatrick. Hello.
What an intro, man. I started wondering who you were talking about. This guy sounds cool. I got to watch this show.
Man, I got to watch this guy.
How are you, man?
Hey,
you know what's funny is I mean, I have more than 3 friends named Phil, but the 3 main guys I know named Phil is you, Master Phil, and then I know a Reverend Phil, and then I know a Farmer Phil.
Holy cow, we all got titles.
So you guys all have titles. How'd that happen? Did you guys all
I don't know.
It's a secret meeting of the Phils.
Yes, we all get together like every other month.
That's cool. The Bryans do that too, but
yeah.
I've been left out of those meetings up till this point.
Son of a gun. So I know you're always doing something cool, and I think you're doing something with a BG Offspring right now, huh? Or is that talkable? Or
No, Steve. I'm doing something for my friend Steve. Yeah.
Okay.
His dad is Barry Gibb. Yeah. So
yeah. Is that something you talk about now, or something you can't?
Oh, no, it's nothing to talk about. It's a project, so I generally don't talk about projects.
So we'll talk about it. So tell us what's the last thing you completed.
Well, what I'm working on currently is a video for my friend Michael McDermott, who's a singer-songwriter from Chicago.
Yeah.
And he I've done a bunch of videos with Michael now. God, I don't know how many. I'm trying to recall. I think the first video I directed for him was back in 2007. Yeah. And Michael's just a phenomenal, just a phenomenal songwriter, incredible guy. We have a really long history together. I think I met Michael around 1999 or so. And we had a lot in common right from the jump. So we became pretty good friends and played a bunch of gigs together over the years. And his as talented as he was, I always felt like his visual representation wasn't on par. You know what I mean? With level of talent musically.
Yeah. I mean, that's funny because you can have the best music in the world, or it doesn't have to be music; it has to be product. whatever the product is, if you don't have the proper presentation of that product, the proper packaging, you know, it's not going to get any traction. People aren't going to be attracted to it.
Right.
So, you know, a guy like you is so necessary to bring that out in these guys. And unfortunately, sometimes I know you're probably working with these guys. Sometimes they're a little humble, or they don't want to do that. Oh, I don't want to be commercial, or gosh, you know, I'm not comfortable doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
Those things.
Yeah. Well, I think like in Michael's case anyway, yeah, I just always felt like his you know, his artwork on his albums and stuff just wasn't really on par with who he was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And as we became closer as friends, you know, I said something to him one day about it, I think, and I said, I'll do your next album cover for you, you know. Yeah. And I did, and then I began to do every album cover for him, you know, going forward. And at one point, I decided I was going to direct a video for him.
Yeah.
You know? And I worked in television throughout the years, but as far as directing went, I really had no prior experience.
Mm-hmm.
But I just felt like, hey, I could do this. You know what I mean? It's you know, it's all the same thing at the end of the day. You know, like it's all telling the story. If you're writing a song, or if you're doing a video, or if you're presenting a brand, you know what I mean? So, so that was the first video I did for him, and that was in 2007. A song called "Mess of Things," which was good. And then what happened was, this is kind of a cool story. Michael was, I'm trying to recall, this was around 2010, right?
Okay.
And he put out a new record. And I mean, he wouldn't mind me talking about it because it's been well documented, but he was a brutal alcoholic and drug addict. You know, he's sober now many years, but at the time he was really, you know, he was out of his mind, you know. And I picked him up from the gutter many a night, you know, kind of thing. And what happened was he put out this record, and he didn't have any money. You know, he was just putting this record out on his own. He was, you know, doing the best he could, but there was no real money for anything. And there was a song on the album called "Carry Your Cross," and and it was a piano ballad. And I said, we could shoot a video for this because it'll be simple. You know, we'll do something really simplistic. So he lives in Chicago. It was in like February, I'm going to say, around February 2010. And he was down the shore playing a gig in Asbury Park. And then he was going to come all the way to my place up in North Jersey. Yeah. We were going to shoot the video in my garage really quick. And then he was going to, you know, fly out the next morning, you know, kind of thing. So we had real limited time to make it happen. We didn't have any money. I mean, it was like really, you know, it was, and I didn't really even know what I was doing. You know what I mean? Like I was just kind of like guessing, like, you know, let's try this. So anyway, me and my friend and the guy who was running camera at the time, my buddy Scott Higgins, we were going to set up in my garage. Then a snowstorm happens. Like it's just like, and there's a chance Michael might not be able to get up here. You know, like it's a mess, man. You know, it's too cold to do in the garage. I go, to hell with it. You know, we'll do it in my living room. You know, so we come to my living room, and Michael gets here somehow by the grace of God. You know, through the elements. And we set him up against the wall, and we do a bunch of takes of this song, right? Mm-hmm. And it was amazing. Like the performance that Michael gave was really staggering. You know, there was only like 3 or 4 of us in the room, and everybody was just kind of whoa, you know. So this is where it gets good. So he, we shoot it. He leaves the next day. I start the editing process, and I, you know, I start putting the thing together, and we finished the video, right? I finished the video, and we put it out on YouTube or whatever, and Michael loves it, and it gets a really great response, right? Mm-hmm. So now what do? Here's this video. It's an amazing song, right? You know, I'm partial to the video because I produced it, of course, but I think it's pretty good video. So I think it's pretty good video, right? So I go, man, I'm like, you know, I'm just going to blindly kind of send this out, you know, which is like, it's like a salesman doing cold calls, knocking on the door. You know, it's just insane. Like, yeah. So I send it out with an email to like a bunch of different channels, and somehow I don't even know how, I get a response from the program director at GAC, which is the Great American Country Channel. And he says, Brian, I love the song. I love the video. It's not exactly country, but we have like a Sunday morning show that we do that's kind of a little more, you know, outside the country genre, you know, ventures a little bit. And I want to play that song on the show, right? So like, oh my God, like this is like, you know, the heavens opened up. You know what I mean? It's like, holy cow, wow, we actually have a shot. And I mean, Michael's career at the time was in shambles, you know, everything was not, it was not good, you know? I mean, he always had a devout following and people that, you know, came to his shows and of course, and bought his albums religiously, as he should have. But I mean, you know, it was always kind of ebbing and flowing, and it was always kind of ebbing and flowing kind of down towards the lower end of the spectrum, just due to his own personal problems, you know, primarily. And so he says, we want to play it. I'm like, great, man, awesome. So he goes, okay, I need it to be closed captioned and provided on two beta tapes, right? And sent to this address. So I'm like, okay. So now I have to figure out, like, I'm like, how do I get this closed caption, and how do I get these on beta tapes to send him? So I, of course, call Michael right away.
You didn't hold up. You didn't like just write up postcards and film it and like
pretty much, man, you know. So I call Michael. I'm like pretty excited, you know. I'm like, hey man, we have a shot with this video, and you know, they're gonna play it, and that of course will increase your profile and hopefully help you sell records. So he's like, you know, staggered too, like, wow, this is awesome, you know. So I'm like, so here's the thing, dude, we need $400 because I have to get these things closed captioned and put to video. Right? He doesn't have $400, you know what I mean? Like we don't have any money, like nothing, you know. It's like we need $400, you know, and like, you know, I'm all right, but I mean, I'm not like, you know, whatever. So I'm like, all right, just pay the $400. McDermott, if you're watching this, you still owe me $400. I'm just kidding. I love you. I'm teasing. But so I get them, you know, I pay to have them done and send them, and they start playing it on the channel. And like the response was insane. Like, and I don't mean insane, like, listen, I say insane, like insane at the level that for a guy like me at the level I live at, you know? I mean, if you're Mick Jagger, you know, it's, you know,
insane.
It's nothing. But for me, I'm like, and for us at the time, for being that we had no money, we shot this in my living room during a snowstorm, and somehow some dude on some channel picked it up, you know what I mean? And it was just like unbelievable. So so Michael, from there, you know, so just to continue on that trajectory, because I'm sure I got asked a while ago not to drone on about Michael, but he's a part of my story, you know. And I got asked a while ago to be part of a documentary that a really talented and nice guy is putting together, and they wanted me to do an interview. And like I couldn't really do the interview, you know. It was like tape, you know, talk to a camera and then send it. And I was just like, you know, man, like with a guy like McDermott, like he is so honest in his songwriting throughout his whole life that like there's nothing to be said that's not already there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's not downing the documentary. I don't mean it that way. I mean, just from my own standpoint, I'm like, you know, like, yeah, I have a lot of funny stories, and I have a lot of, you know, sad stories, and, you know, everything in between, right? From our friendship over the years. But like, you know, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to know anything about him, listen to his records, man. You know what I mean? Like, that's the guy, or at least that's the guy captured at those various points, right? You know what I mean? He's maybe not that same guy anymore. Matter of fact,
right. But at that
point, you know. And if you really want to know an artist, Neil Young said this, you know, like, if you really want to know an artist, you want to know all aspects of them, even the bad stuff, you know. That's all part of it. That's all encompassing, you know. So just to follow through with that really quick. So you got to kind of know McDermott to know why this is funny. So we have this just really great success with it. And what I mean by success is like, I was getting people emailing me. Some woman sent me this email that she heard the song and saw the video on a Sunday morning and fell in front of her TV set and on her knees, like she was so moved by it. It is a really incredible song, and it's on YouTube if anyone wants to see it.
Yeah.
I could pull it up. I can actually play it if you want.
Yeah, if you want to play a piece of it, go ahead, man.
Yeah.
So, but just to finish this thought, real
What's the name of it?
what's
Yeah,
that?
what am I looking for?
Michael McDermott, Carry Your Cross is what it's
Carry Your
called.
Cross.
Yeah. So just to finish kind of the story.
Yeah.
So Michael, I mean, we're getting emails. It was pretty crazy. Like not like the amount we were getting. I was getting a good amount, but like, who looks up like the guy that directed it? And you know what I mean? Like, him getting it made sense, but like in order to get to me, like you would have to look up my name and like kind of find my way. You know what I mean? Like I don't know who has the time to do that.
Right. You would be purposely looking for you.
You'd be looking, So I mean, I'm getting emails and I'm like, wow, this is. And it wasn't so much the amount, but it was like the content, like how like serious, you know what I mean? Like, it was like kind of staggering, like where I was like, whoa, man, So anyway, Michael goes and that gave him a little growth spurt again, and I think he went on tour a bunch to Italy from there and maybe Europe, I don't recall. But to follow that up, so now we have this success, right? This is typical McDermott for you. If you know the guy, it's so great at this time, So like we have success, so it's like great. He's going to go in and do another record. Great. Follow up on this past success of Carry Your Cross. Great. He goes in, he does another record. He texts me, Fitzy, I got to send you my new record. I want you to listen to it and tell me if you hear a song that you think you could direct a video for, So I'm like thinking, yeah, all right. So I got to find the song on here that's kind of the good follow-up to Carry Your Cross.
Right.
Because we have it in at GAC and we had success over there. And they kept playing it, by the way. For 2 years solid, they kept playing it. And they moved it into other time slots. So it was getting like a lot of airplay, So I'm like, we got to find like the follow-up, So McDermott sends me the album. And it's like a complete rock album. Like there's nothing even kind of country on it. It's just like this super great rock record. And I'm like listening to it and I'm like, dude, what am I going to do with this? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's great, we'll make a great video, but okay, so we do that. And that album was called Hit Me Back. And the video we did for that one, which you'll appreciate, you should call up this one too, was called, the song was called Hit Me Back, Michael McDermott Hit Me Back. And it was all about, the lyric goes, I hit the bottle pretty hard last night. I've been wound up a little too tight. I hit the bottle so hard, in fact, that this morning it hit me back, right? That's like the line, right?
What's the name?
Michael McDermott Hit Me Back is
Hit Me Back.
Yeah, if you look it up, you should be able to find it on YouTube pretty quick. So like I'm sitting there and I'm listening to the tune and I'm like, I'm thinking about what to do for the video. And I'm like, I'm gonna put him in a boxing ring. And I'm gonna get a boxer, just to beat the hell out of him. Like the boxer represents, alcohol and his addiction, and and there he is, So I call him. I go, dude, I'm gonna put you in a boxing ring, And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah. So if you pull it up, Doug.
I got it ready to rock. I got everything.
Yeah, just play like the first minute of it. So, but to let you know, I put him in a boxing ring, right?
Yeah.
And I sequenced the whole thing so that he got knocked out at a certain point. Yeah, here you go. I'm in the video at the end.
There you go.
Yeah, but check it out. The song's great. Yeah, that's Michael.
Yeah. And that,
you guys can hear it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, man, you could stop it, Doug, man.
I also got this one whenever you're ready, too.
Oh, yeah, that's Carry Your Cross. So this is the one. Yeah, this is the other one. Yeah. This one's really cool.
Carry your cross for you. I'd suffer your loss for you. I'd break all the laws for you. Babe, I swear I would. I'd ride all your wrongs for you. I think I belong with you. I'd carry your cross. I only could.
Yeah, so that was the one anyway, you know. You get the general gist there.
They
Cool.
sound almost the same. What do you mean?
What's that?
We can go.
Same. Why do you have a problem?
I didn't hear you, Phil. What did you say?
I said they sound almost the same. Why'd you have a problem?
Yeah, right. I know, right? So that was, you know, so like I'm just using that kind of as an example of kind of like some of the challenges I encounter, you know, with projects I get. Like you were talking about branding earlier. You mentioned Stephen Gibb. He has a podcast. I'll just give him a quick plug called Addiction Talks. That's on it's on, you know, he has a page for it on Facebook and on YouTube. So like I've been, you know, working on that brand with him, and he has a component to it also called Addiction Walks. Mm-hmm. So trying to like bring those two things together, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm currently dealing with, doing a project I'm currently doing. And then like with Michael, I'm just finishing up a new video now. Matter of fact, I finished the edit this morning, and the song is called Contender. So yeah, so those are like the most recent projects I've done. And my last big project prior to that was I did design work. I did for Abco Music, Let It Bleed, the Rolling Stones. It's the 50th anniversary edition. So I did a big project with them for that last summer, and I designed the book that was in it with and I worked with Ethan Russell, who's a real famous photographer. If you know, he shot the cover of Who's Next, and he shot the cover of the Beatles' Let It Be, and he shot the cover of the ton of Rolling Stones albums, all those early, like late 60s, early 70s tour photographs you see of Keith and Mick, you know, like the beautiful ones from back in the day. You know, he did all those, and he's a terrific guy, really cool, and that's the second time I got to work with him, so that was really cool. And yeah, that's it, man. You know,
I actually have one celebrity in the rock world that I dealt with.
Yeah.
I was given private lessons to Sean Stewart years ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, great guy.
Rod Stewart's kid, yeah.
Yeah. I was wondering, I mean, he came to me for a while, and all the way out from Long Island to come train with me. I'm like, he goes, I like training with you. I'm like, all right, you know, so, you know, I'd see him every so often when he ever came east. And then I didn't hear from him for a while, and I saw him on Celebrity Rehab. So,
oh, geez. Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy. Oh,
but,
no.
I haven't heard from his kids, but maybe he's staying not New York way.
Yeah.
But, here's something before we get into some of the topical items.
Yeah.
There's something in the music world that has been bothering me for years. And honestly, I post about all the time.
Is it the music? No, I'm just kidding.
Damn kids in these music.
Well, it's the fact that my favorite band, Judas Priest, is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That is a travesty.
Yeah, you know what, man? I'll tell you the truth. Like, I know that's like a hot topic, and it's cool. It's fun to talk about, like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but like, I think like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is like such a stupid idea to begin with that like I don't even like. I just think it's just moronic. Like,
I've been there. It is.
No, just not.
I worked it.
I don't even mean like the build. No, listen, man. Like, I just think like the notion of like, you know, this art is better than that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know, man.
Well, you know,
I've seen some like incredibly influential and talented people play in front of, a closet in front of. There you go. Oh, I'm in trouble now. No, I'm kidding. But I played there. I actually played the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame back in like,
Nice.
yeah, I played. Dude, this is probably back in like. There's a funny interview I think online from like right after I played it. It was I think we played there in 2004, 2005. And they had like a independent music festival that was run by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And we went out to Cleveland to play it. And it was like in the dead of summer. It was like the end of June, early July. And it was held in like a parking lot with just like pavement, you know what I mean? And it was just ferociously hot, you know? And we went up and played the gig. And all I remember is like, as soon as I got done playing the gig, come off stage, do an interview really quick, load my gear and just start driving home. I'm out of here. Forget it. I'm gone, immediately, like boom, just full steam ahead, never looking back, But the thing is, man, and of course, your reason for feeling that way is definitely valid. I just think the whole concept is kind of like, I don't know. It's just
if you're gonna recognize bands, if you're gonna recognize rap music in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you got to at least put the Mavens of Metal in there. I mean, the Priest, Bob Halford's voices were.
Is there a reason? Is there a known reason why?
Musically, is there a reason that they're not in?
No,
I thought there was criteria, you have to have certain like amount of records sold, and there's like a time frame and stuff like that.
That's kind of the whole thing, Doug. I don't. They're really outside of it. I think it's got to be 20 years since your first album, something like that. Maybe 25. I could be wrong, but there is no real criteria. It's just like a bunch of dudes who like hey, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, listen, man, I'm a Kiss fan, of course, and like, and I mean, Kiss didn't get in until 2014.
Yeah, but they're in.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I think eventually.
Isn't in.
I mean, listen, if it means something to like, is Iron Maiden in or no? Are they in the Hall of Fame?
Who?
Iron Maiden.
I think Iron Maiden is. I think.
Well, like the thing is that to me, it's just that like yeah, I don't know, man. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like, whatever.
I'll tell you this.
Does it like make Judas Priest any less awesome? Like, no, you know, like, listen, man, plenty of artists that I love, like, will never be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And,
but hey, you look at the body of work, you look at the amount of influence Judas Priest had on.
Oh, forget it. Yeah.
Come on heavy metal, please.
Also, you would also think, and I know this goes like a little bit off topic with it, but also, I mean, Rob Halford was the first openly gay heavy metal.
Yes. Yes.
That's pretty profound, don't you think?
Right.
Like,
and he's not in?
and people go Freddie Mercury, and they're right, Freddie Mercury, but I'm talking about heavy metal. I'm not talking about, like kind of arena rock. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I mean the specific genre, right? Like, so, yeah, man, I don't know. I don't really regard too many of those kind of institutions, really, to be honest with you. I just like what I like, and I don't need anyone else to like it. I don't care if they do or if they don't. It's like whatever. Like, there's plenty of music I like that, it's a weird thing sometimes, man, is that like if you play music in any capacity, people will like be apologetic. Like someone will say to me, "Oh, dude, you know who I really like?" And you probably think they suck, but I really like, so and so. Like, they need to qualify it with like, I probably. And it's like, dude, first of all, I don't think anyone sucks, really. Right. And number two is like, who cares what I think? Like I'm not the authority on music. Like, I'm glad you listen to music, man. Because there's lots of other entertainment out there. Like, you like what you like. Like, that's awesome, man. Like.
Here's what I think they're doing, because you don't play that particular style, they don't think.
Yeah, right. No, I get it. It's just silly.
I can't play basketball, but I like watching it.
Of course, yeah. Yeah. So I mean, but there's this thing, and I get it, man. Like, but yeah, I don't know.
Dude, I'll tell you one thing. Like, it was very eye-opening. I'm doing this like marketing stuff, and you'd be very surprised. I'm not going to like name names or companies or magazines, but a lot of the awards and a lot of the credits and features are the people who are paying for them. And it's a shame that like the people who don't qualify or the people who actually deserve them are not getting those accolades. The person who is like, I'll donate a couple thousand to your magazine. Oh, now I'm the feature front page.
Yeah, I mean, listen, man, that's always par for the course, you know. Those things are just kind of, you know, that's just kind of how it goes, man.
Yeah.
So I don't get too nervous about it, whatever, man, you know.
Hey, you know what? I want to get into some of these other things. Now, we've had some discussions on these, but there's a whole bunch of stuff going on in the news right now.
You're kidding?
No, really? No way.
Oh, what?
Yeah, go ahead. I can figure. You know, it's funny because just this morning I was reading the New York Times, and I actually posted the article. They said Norway did a real study. It's been doing for I think a couple months now, where they took over 3,600 individuals. Half of them, they said, okay, you go to the gym every day. You know, you can go 5, 4, 6 days a week, whatever you want. There's other half of people, you don't go. Now, when they went, they trained, no masks, no nothing. You know, they just kept clean. And, you know, when they were doing heavy aerobic exercise, they maintained 6 foot distance. But then other stuff, they maintained 3 foot distance. They're lifting weights at 3 feet distance. Okay. You know, they didn't shower there, but, you know, they did that at home. And there was no difference whatsoever between the two groups who stayed at home and who went to the gym as far as attracting and contracting COVID. And none of the people in the gym required hospitalization. And this is
yeah. So what are you thinking?
I'm thinking that, you know, look, again, what we have to do is protect the populations that require protection. And then the other population, man, you have to live. You can live. You can go do your stuff. Just be clean. Be clean and, you know, wash your hands. Don't squirt knots on people.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, it's a you know, the whole thing's just a really tricky situation, I guess, man. I mean, I'm like
easy answer, but
yeah, I don't, man. I'm just a dumb musician, man. I don't really, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's just, it's above my pay grade for sure, man. You know what I mean? I just wish the information was a little, I feel like there was just a lot of confusion early on, which is fine. Like, you're allowed to be confused, you know, of course, it's a confusing situation, but just a lot of things like, you know, a lot of like information just so crazy now because you don't know.
You know, one thing that I mean, if okay, let's take New Jersey because it affects us the most because that's where we are.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, when this first happened, I mean, I was down with it. You know, I mean, I remember the video I made in February, and I kind of predicted a lot of the stuff that was going to happen. And you know, really, you got to check it out.
Pull it up.
I will. I'll go back. Are you?
It's
Yeah,
hilarious.
I'm pulling it up.
It's like, oh yeah, it's funny. So I predicted a whole bunch of these things that were going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it goes along with every other virus and flu out there. It's a big spike, a drop, a little blip again, then it goes away. This one is following kind of the same pattern of the past 40, 50 years of viruses that have been able to, you know, look at the charts on. But you know, I said I made some pretty funny points about it. But here's the major thing that bothers me, though.
Yeah.
Is that the government said, okay, you know, we did an initial lockdown, supposed to be for a couple of weeks. I'm okay, good, man. I'm down with it, right?
Sure.
And then they kept moving the goalposts. That's number one.
Yeah.
Number two, they gave us no path to being reopened. They have not given any information. Like if you look on the New Jersey website for coronavirus stage 3, it says high contact activities. Okay, with precautions, with social distance in mind. What are you talking about? Yeah. How can you have high contact activity with social distance?
Yeah.
That makes zero sense. Has anybody read that?
You know, it's funny, man. I was saying to a friend of mine the other day, I was like, I go, you know, man, I go, it's 2020 and I can smoke a joint in front of a cop, but I can't train jiu-jitsu, you know?
Well,
and if you had told me that in 1988, I would have been like, what? You know what I would have said? I would have said, what the hell is jujitsu?
right.
That's what I would have said.
Well, the other thing is that evidently in our state, you can steal a TV, but you can't sell one.
Right. Oh, yeah. That's a good one, too. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You got arrested for selling a television, but that when you loot it and steal it, it's fine. It's okay. So,
Yeah.
Here's a little bit of laugh.
Yeah, let's see. What do we got?
Master Phil here. And remember, I'm Master Phil, not Dr. Phil. So any advice that I'm giving you is my personal opinion. And be sure to check with your physician prior to taking any of my advice and executing it. So let's talk about the coronavirus, aka COVID-19. Currently, there are two versions. There's one version, the L, which is very hardcore, attacks you fast, and that puts people in the hospital. There's another version called the S, which is more mild, and that's what's helped spreading, because some children now are even being infected with it, and they're walking around and they don't even know it. So what am I here to do today, folks? I'm here to cut to the truth about the coronavirus. Safety first. Put the goggles on.
Phil, I got to tell you, I'm really appreciating the.
Now, the coronavirus has absolutely nothing to do with this exceptionally tasty Mexican beer. But this version of the coronavirus, again, COVID-19, is a growing health concern to the citizens of the U.S. Deaths are rising globally, and even though the mortality rate isn't terribly high, the morbidity rate is 7 times that of the normal flu. And additionally, folks, can we really trust the Chinese government to be forthright with the truth about this virus? How does it work? How does it spread? And what can you do to avoid?
You want me to cut it? Keep going. Keep going.
Well, actually, because I mean, I do. People can watch it.
No, I'll watch it later. Phil, man.
Because actually, all the things that I say to do are they're showing that they have to. I
can fast forward.
Yeah, dude, the set.
Can we fast forward a little bit?
Set design is. Where did you shoot this, man?
Oh, that's green screen.
Oh, you saw a green screen there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's great, man.
That's undefeated media right there.
It'll be fresh, man. He's my man.
Thank you.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's hilarious, man. That's funny.
But it's funny because that and all everything that I said about preventing it is being brought out. It's just, most of it's common sense. Look, the vitamin D, right? Doug, I called out vitamin D from the beginning.
Look, that I mean, like, there's certain things, like it's a controversial topic, of course. There are certain things I think everyone can agree on, and that would be that, definitely upping your health is the best thing, is a good thing to do. It's a good thing to up your vitamins. It's a good thing to, it's a good thing to clean up your diet. It's a good thing to, cut down on drinking or anything.
Here's my problem.
Of course,
Here's my problem with what our government's doing. Okay. They are not espousing any of these things, anything about boosting your immune system. They're not talking about, hey, take vitamin D. Hey, take vitamin C, and the powder version works the best. Hey, work out. Hey, get outside. Hey, be at a reasonable weight. When we have 70% of the people in the United States are overweight, and 42% are obese. And other than the COPD and the asthma that one of the comorbidities with COVID, all the rest of them are related to being obese, to being overweight. So how come they're not addressing that?
It was kind of like, the only thing I could really, say about that is it was really odd that there were all these kind of like, I remember seeing like a frame on Facebook where it was like COVID couch warrior or whatever. And it was like it was like an illustration of some woman like sitting on her couch, eating like food, watching Netflix, like insinuating that, just do that for a couple months. It's like,
No,
dude, like what? No, that's not. I mean, listen, man, it's okay. Listen, everyone does that once in a while. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like this, it was like kind of this whole. And you know what, man? I was thinking about this the other day too, because like, I thought about this a lot. It's like just social media, like maybe because I've written songs, you know, for a large part of my life.
Yeah.
And I've written a lot, and like I'm just kind of cognizant of the limitations of the written word. You know what I mean? And like I always say, like on Facebook, when you write something, people read it in their own voice. You know, they can't hear the inflection in your voice. You know?
Yes.
And if they're not around, like I'm around you a lot. Like I know you as my friend.
Right.
So when I read what you write, I know how you mean it, you know, because I know you, you know, or, you know, and like I could write something. Listen, 99.9% of what I write and just my approach is always just kind of like, it's just a goof, you know what I mean? It's tongue in cheek, you know,
Right.
but people can miss that, and then they get mad at you. And I understand that too. But really what it just comes down to is my disappointment in the limitations of the written medium, you know, and it's just, you know, and there's no way around it, you know. If you don't know someone and you read what they write, you're not gonna really, you know what I mean? Like your ability to misinterpret it becomes much greater, right? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
because like you said, in that voice, like we know each other. So when I read something you write, I hear your voice.
Well, for example, I could write to you I could say to you like laughingly, you know, hey, screw you, Phil, laughingly, right? But if I write it, it's screw you, Phil.
Right. But I know you.
Know? But the trick is I have to put the little laughing emoto guy next to it. And then but
you're good,
sometimes I forget to do that.
You want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm sending text, I send it too fast, and I meant to do like a thumbs up or a pound fist. I sent the middle finger to people.
Yeah. Sure.
Why? I'm like, oh, sorry.
It's just, yeah, I'm just kind of like, you know, man, it's just too, it's just, I don't know. Everything's a simple dichotomy nowadays, man. So, and that's fine, you know, whatever, you know, I'm just gonna sit here and do what I've always done, I guess, you know what I mean? So,
It was funny. Talking about simple dichotomies. I don't know that what they've done in Seattle with that chip, chop, chaz, whatever the heck.
What's that called? Is that what it's called now? What's it called?
I don't know. Is it chop? Is it chaz? Is it chip? Is it? I don't know. What is it?
Looks like a punk rock festival, man. I play a lot of those, you know, when I was a kid.
You know what's really funny? Did you hear the police chief who was ordered to leave the building?
No.
She's a African American black lady.
Okay.
Who, yep. I mean, she's all bummed. Her name is Carmen Best.
Okay.
And she, that was the first department that she grew up in, and she rose to the level of chief. And now here's this black woman who rose to this level, and yet she got yanked out of there. They told her to
wait, what do you mean she got yanked out? She still has her job, right?
Yeah, but they told her to stand down. They pulled her out.
Well, they gave up. They gave up
that area. They gave up her station.
They'll get it back, right? I mean,
well, yeah, but, okay.
Right? I don't know. I'm asking.
Well, I mean, something's got to happen there. I mean, because now there's rapes going on there. People are getting murdered and shot. There's borders there, and they're armed. So here we got all these people with borders and armed, and they're anarchists.
Yeah.
Little, I don't know.
You know what I always find interesting to me, man? Here's what I always find interesting. And is that, and I'm a pacifist, man. I'm a nonviolent person, man, you know, but like, what's always funny to me and is I'll see some young kid, you know, on like, you know, TV or YouTube or whatever, you know, yelling about advocating for violent change, you know, and looks like he weighs about $115, soaking wet, and it's like, listen, dude, I don't know if you should be advocating for violent revolution, you know? Like, 'cause I don't want violent revolution. And, dude, let me tell you, if there is a violent revolution, you're going out in round one. Now, I'm gonna, and listen, for the record, I'm going out in round 1 too. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not acting like, you know, I'm not like, I don't mean it that way. I mean, like, I'm going out in round 1 too. I might last an additional 20 seconds than you. Because, you know, I don't know, I can hide pretty well. But
I'm
like,
hiding behind this guy.
you know what? Yeah, or I'm gonna hide behind Master Phil, you know, or I'll find my friend Farmer Phil or Reverend Phil. One of the Phils will stand in front of
Phil.
One of them fill in.
I'm just always kind of like, you know, man, like, just, you know, like, do you really know, like, look, like, do you really know what you're advocating for? Like, are you really aware? Like, because once that happens, man, you can't undo it. And what happens when supply lines get cut off? That kind of stuff, like, real stuff happens, man. And like, do you know how to live off the land? Because I don't. That's why I'm not advocating for violent revolution, man. I want to be able to go to the shop, right? You know, pick up some food, you know, grill some chicken or whatever. You know what I mean? It's really crazy.
Because I'm watching the videos of some of the things that are going on there. Guys are getting cars stolen, their belongings stolen. And there's no cops. And you know, the funny thing is that, you know what? Here, you 115-pound guy just crawled out of your mother's basement. If you have something and I want it, guess what? I'm taking it.
Well, of course. Well, that's the whole thing. That's what happens, you know, and that's the problem. You know what I mean? That's the problem. But I think that, and listen, again, you know, I predecess all this stuff with it. I'm a dopey musician. I don't really know much of anything, but I do think it would benefit to have a much more highly trained, you know, police force. You know,
I would go 100% on
you know, and just you know, and not, you know, just have a much more highly trained police force that's better, you know, and that's nothing to listen, man. I know a ton of cops, you know, they're all good guys, but you know, you need to be trained, man. You know, you should be training. Like, if I was, and you know, we train with a lot of cops. Obviously, a lot of them do train. You know, but I'm saying, like, there should be some. I think there should be some sort of mandatory requirement for it, because I just think it's too, you know, it's too crazy of a job, and for their own protection. I'm not saying for the public's protection, that too, of course, but also for their own personal protection. You know.
I mean, if you look at it this way, right? You know, I've worked with a lot of cops. I was a DCJ instructor for defensive tactics, hand to hand, for 5 years back in the 90s. I used to go to the academies and train them.
Yeah, sure.
Coming through. But here's the problem: is that most of these guys, their grappling skills sucked.
Right.
And most of them.
Yeah.
And then when they got out of the academy, they never practiced.
Yeah.
And even fewer went on to do more. Look here. If you're a police officer, and I'll tell you, I had Kyle on, who's an animal.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got to check out. I got
to go back and watch it.
The podcast was dedicated to this.
Yeah.
Doing martial arts and jiu-jitsu. I mean,
it was before all this.
It was before all this.
Happened, right?
I've been advocating that forever. Because look, here the thing is, if you're a cop and you pull your gun, first of all, you just escalated the situation.
Sure.
And you only have to pull your gun as a last resort, in my estimation. Okay. And obviously that should be what we're discussing, because you pull the gun, you shoot a bullet, you can't take it back.
Right.
Okay. If you put a lock on someone, you can ease up on it. Right. Or put more pressure on it.
Of course.
So
right.
It's controlled. Now, the thing is, if you look at in most instances, there's cops that go 20, 30, whatever years, never pulling a gun. But you know what they do every day? Just about every day, you got your hands on somebody. You got domestic violences. You got car stops. You got fights. You have all these different things going on. Then you have to put your hands on someone. Okay. So if you're putting your hands on someone, you know, you better know what you're doing. Here. Now, I mean, that Derek Chauvin thing in Minneapolis, I mean, that was just a total, just disgusting display. I mean, nobody in the world agrees that what he did to George Floyd was right. No one. I know a ton of cops. And look, I've been in a lot of fights. I've done security. Yeah, a couple here. I've never once put my knee on someone's neck.
I would never.
Okay? Never. You put your knee on somebody's neck, you want to kill them. So keep your knee off the neck. I don't know how that was an approved technique. You know, it was an approved technique by the it was an approved technique by the Minneapolis Police Department. I know who's doing these stuff.
No, but hang on a second. Like, so that literally set like that's a technique that they teach.
Yes.
Oh, dude, that's insane.
That's insane.
Why would they teach them that?
I don't know. They don't want to kill people. I don't know. I know. Okay. I mean, just the fact that is an approved technique is insane.
Wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Yeah. So I was just kind of going rogue, you know, and just.
Yeah, well, he wanted to decline for 9 minutes, please. Now, here's the other thing: is that Minneapolis is a very left-wing state. Okay, Keith Ellison, extremely left-wing. Amy Klobuchar, who's that? Fry is the governor. Let me ask you something. Haven't you guys ever looked at this before? Haven't you guys ever considered looking at your police tactics? You've been here for years. You did nothing. You did nothing about it.
Yeah, man. You know, I just, just as a human being, I'm just like, I think the more self-sufficient you can be, the better off you are,
Absolutely.
And of course it's not possible for, a lot of people. I understand that too. But if you have the option, if you have the option, you should try and make yourself as self-sufficient as possible.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? That's not to say I'm lacking in that area in many ways, but at least I try and consider it. You know what I mean? Like I think about it, and I don't know, man. It's a strange, very strange time to be alive, man.
No.
It's really weird.
So, well, I put forth something to a bunch of different police stations. I contact a lot of chiefs in the area, and I've gotten some reply. I've got some response to it. That I'm putting together a special class. I call it Leo Less Than Lethal.
Okay.
Law enforcement officers less than lethal training.
Okay.
Yeah. And look, I want them to be confident with their hands. Look, the thing that happened in Atlanta should have never happened.
Well, that was the one where they tackled the guy, right? With the taser.
They had him down. He got out.
Yeah.
Got the taser
That's
shot.
what I was going to say. Like that was one where I was like, and listen, I don't want to, I don't know anything, man. I'm not Monday morning quarterbacking or anything, but like Jay, well, you can, I mean, Jay recently, when I'm saying recently, before COVID, back in like this past winter, Jay Hayes, who's my jiu-jitsu coach, and Phil, your friend, obviously, he was teaching us 2-on-1 drills, like specific for law enforcement on how to subdue someone, And when I saw that video, and I kind of lightly paid attention because it's all too it's too depressing for me, man. So like, I watched it once and I was like, if those guys knew that technique that we've been taught, they probably could have restrained that guy. They had him down, right?
Yeah.
He was basically almost on his stomach.
Yeah.
Somehow he got up and got away. If you had two cops that were purple belts in jiu-jitsu, that dude wasn't getting up. You know what I mean? No way, right?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Hell, no, it wouldn't have happened. I mean, the guy was in an. Yeah, go ahead, Doug.
So I mean, I totally agree with you guys, and I just want to put some light on the other side too. It's like you got to be responsible for your actions. If you grab a taser and run away, like come on, you know what I mean? Like.
Oh yeah. What I'm saying is that look, and I'm not justifying what that guy did. And honestly, you shoot a cop with a taser. I mean, then you get shot. Well, you know what? You shouldn't have shot him. You shouldn't have been drunk in your car because and you shouldn't have been on parole for beating your wife and kids. There's a whole bunch of things that led up to it. But what I'm saying is that if these cops were trained properly, it would have never got to that level. Never got to that level.
Yeah.
Cops. This guy wasn't the size of an NFL linebacker. I mean, come on, he was smaller than one of the cops, and so size wasn't the issue here. But this drunk guy overpowered two cops, got a taser, and shot at them. That should have never ever happened. So I'm not look, I'm not making excuses for the guy who did this and got shot. Look, he shouldn't have done a whole bunch of things that put him in that position. But I'm saying, as far as a cop goes, that's why a cop's there to deal with stuff like that.
Yeah, the whole situation.
If you're really quick to deal with that, well, then you have to do something about it. You have to know how to do basic takedowns. You have to know how to stay on your feet. You have to know how to do a lock on somebody. You have to know how to hold them down. You have to practice your balance, your body pressure, shifting your weight, things like that. And you know what? These guys had none of that training. They look like two monkeys trying to hump a doorknob. I mean, come on.
What's weird is like I don't know, man. What I like to train, but like what's weird, I think if I was in that position, like I would train like crazy, like I would be
crazy.
Yeah, just because I'm just
you get paid to train.
I'd be too nervous. You know what I mean? Like when I was a kid, if I was going to play a gig, like I would just rehearse. You know what I mean? Like I just obsessively rehearse because I was terrified of going up and not playing well. You know,
proper preparation prevents piss poor performance.
Right.
These guys are not properly prepared, and you know what? They have to qualify with a gun every year. But how about being in shape? How about being able to grab somebody and hold them down? How come you're not being trained to do that?
Yeah,
why are you not doing that?
It's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah, and I just don't get it. You know what? And here's one of the problems. There's a couple problems. Okay, one of the problems that I've seen is that some of the cops have an ego and don't want to lose. So if you're in a room and you lose to like a 15-year-old kid in jiu-jitsu,
that happened to me another
which can happen, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely all the time. Yeah.
And it bruises the ego. But man, you know what? But that's what you're gonna face out there. You have to know how to deal with it. You have to know. You're a cop and you get taken down. Someone gets your gun, it's over. It's over.
I just like, a big part of life for me is just trying to conquer the ego, and like I've spent it's because there's just nothing really good that comes out of it,
Bad stuff happens.
It's just not good,
No.
So, yeah, well, I don't know, man. Better training, I guess. That's the conclusion, right?
They got to do it. They got, and I think that I hope that this one will shine some light on this, and that more police agencies will do that training. Look, one, it's going to be good for optics.
Yeah,
something positive. Two, you know what? It's going to make it less dangerous for them. I mean, their job is dangerous. I wouldn't want to be a cop nowadays. I mean, it's a very
I really I can't even imagine, man.
No,
all of Atlanta just handed in their badges.
Oh, is that right?
The whole police department handed in their badges because they feel like they can't do their job because
really
they're handcuffed.
Wow,
that happened to me once. No, when I was in a cop, I was bouncing, and my last real bouncing job full time. It was in 2004, and a bar called Blend, which is now defunct in Ridgewood. Do you remember Blend at all?
Oh, I've been there.
I remember the name. I don't think I was ever there, but I recall the name for sure.
So there was a fight in the front of the bar. This 6'3" guy pounding this guy about like 5'6", hammering him. And I'm on my fight. I come running over. I put the guy in a lock, slap him down, throw him in a choke, pull him out, and I tell his two friends, come with me, and I drag him out. Okay, so I got all three of them out. Now all these other guys, my little pity, all these other guys come flying in. Okay, they start beating up on the guy who just got beat up. His shirt is torn, his face is, they start grabbing him. I'm like, no. So long and short of it was that you got those out. Yeah. So end of the night, they're like, did you hurt that guy bad? I'm like, no, I just put him in choke, dragged him out. And like, well, because if you get sued, we can't back you up. So I'm like, okay. I collected my money end of the night, called in the next day, and I said, hey,
see ya.
Take me off the schedule tonight. Oh, no, you're not feeling well? No, I'm not working for someone who will not back me up. I'm there protecting your establishment. So take me off now, and every night forward, I'm done. And that's
how are you supposed to operate?
Look, I have to have your backing. I'm protecting your establishment. These police officers are protecting Atlanta, and you're not backing them up.
Dude, the last time I had an encounter with a bouncer was just when you told that story, I remembered it. It all came flooding back. The last time I had an encounter with a bouncer was in, I think it was the winter of 1995, right?
Okay.
And I was dating this girl at the time, and there was like a massive snowstorm, right? Like there was a blizzard, right?
Oh yeah.
And we were all stuck inside for like, a week, it was one of those, and it's dead of winter, it's freezing out, there's snow, you can't go anywhere, everything's kind of sucks, and my brother, my oldest brother, I was living at my folks' place at the time, but my brother was living in Boston, but he was home for the weekend, and he comes in, like it's like a Saturday night, and it's just starting to clear, like people are starting to be able to get back out on the roads. And there was I grew up in Wayne, if you know where Wayne is, and there was a club in Wayne on Route 23, Mothers. Mothers. Remember Mothers nightclub? Right.
I had a few fights in there.
Right. So I don't know. I'm at home, and my oldest brother says, "Hey man, Dee Snider from Twisted Sister is playing at Mothers tonight, and me and my buddy are gonna go." So I'm like, "Oh, cool." So I tell this girl I'm dating at the time, "Hey, let's go see. We're just looking to go out. Hey, let's go see Dee Snider at Mothers, right?" And my other friend Billy comes along with us. So we all go, and we get there, and we get to Mothers, and Mothers is packed. And I'm a smaller guy. I'm like 5'6.5" at the time. I probably weighed 135 maybe, And I'm there with my girl and my buddy, and they go over to the bar, and I'm sitting there, and the place is packed. And my brother's friend, I mean, there's signs everywhere, like Dee Snider comes on, signs everywhere, like no stage diving, no floating, all that stuff. My brother's idiot friend comes up beneath me, gets me in underhooks and throws me up on top of the crowd, right? So now I'm up on top of this crowd. I don't want to be on top of the crowd. But now it's too late. Now I'm up. You know what I mean? Right. So I'm like, oh man, dude, and like Dee Snider's like right there, like looking at Dee, oh man, I'm getting thrown out of here. I think this is no good. All of a sudden, I just feel myself like being ripped down. You know what I mean? From the people. I'm like this, right? And now I'm falling, and as I'm falling, I'm just kind of reaching, right? Yeah. And I grab some chick's hair, accidentally, right? Some metal chick, and like the bouncer's like pull me down. I fall out to the ground. He like underhooks me, has me in a full Nelson. I'm like this, you know what I mean? Yeah. And as I come up, the girl whose hair I grabbed just turns, faces me. Oh. Boom! Pops me right in the eye, dude. Like, boom. Like, I see it coming, like the slow motion. And I'm like this. Like, I'm completely defenseless. I can't do a thing. You know what I mean? I can't even cover. I'm just like, oh, no, I'm about to get punched in the face. Here it comes. And bang, there it is. Okay, great. You can feel it getting hot and swelling up right away. I'm like, oh, no, man. The dude proceeds to drag me like this, out through the audience. And as he's dragging me out, because I know I'm getting thrown out, right? Yeah. As he's dragging me out, I pass the bar, and my girlfriend and my friend have their backs to me, So I'm like yelling their names, to try and let them know that I'm being thrown out. And they open up a door and they throw me out into the snow, right? And now I have like a terrible black eye, and it's cold, and now I'm wet because I got thrown in the snow. And like I come up and I realize like I'm in the dumpster area, and there's a fence, this big chain link fence around it. So now I climb over. I'm nervous because I'm like, I don't want to be stuck. I don't know if someone's coming back out here. I'm like nervous. So I climb over this chain link fence, and I get to the other side, and I go sit on the bumper of a car for like an hour and a half until the show ends, and everyone starts coming out. And I'm just sitting there in the cold and freezing, There's no cell phones. There's nothing like that, I'm just, that's it, man, No one comes out looking for me. Finally, they come out at the end, and my girlfriend's like, where were you the whole time? I'm like, dude, I've been out here since the first song. I got thrown out. You know what I mean? I got thrown out on song 1. I've been out here the entire time. You know what I mean? She's like, oh, I didn't know you got thrown out. I'm like, look at my eye, It's a mess. So that was the last time I had an encounter with the bouncer. And hopefully I never have an encounter with the bouncer again. But yeah, man, it was terrible. Yeah.
You gotta love it.
Crazy things happen, man. You know, in life, it's weird.
You never know what's gonna happen.
I'll tell you though, with the amount of gigs I've played over the years and been to and stuff. I mean, I've had very few I've seen very few bad encounters with security or with bouncers. Usually it's pretty cool,
I've seen some bad ones, but you know something? When you start off these stories, none of these stories start out with, I was eating a salad.
Right, yeah. I was home on the couch. And then a bouncer came and threw me out to the snow. Yeah. No, I know, man. I stay home these days pretty much. I go out and play gigs, but overall, I just hang out in my neighborhood here, and I have some friends, and that kind of my band and stuff. And so we go out and play, and we'll be back out playing. We played. I did an acoustic show last Saturday night. Yeah, the other night. Yeah. And it was fun to get back out again, I was doing I don't know if you saw him, Phil, but I was doing quarantine shows every Friday for a while, from March to April. And it was cool. It was a lot stranger than I thought it was going to be, I was maybe I'll do started out with St. Patrick's Day, because I always played on St. Patrick's Day, and I couldn't this year because everything was shut down. So I said, maybe I'll just live stream a gig, from my living room or whatever. So I did. And I thought it was just going to be natural for me. You know what I mean? I was just I played on TV shows and I played a ton of gigs, and, generally not to sound overconfident, but I have a general idea of what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I know what I'm going to do, kind of, I got my shtick down, so to speak, but it was really just playing in front of a camera like that, or, in front of your phone, and you don't know who's watching, and you don't know if it's good or if it's bad. You don't know what's going out. You don't know
feedback.
It's really weird.
Yeah. It's funny because although, I'm in front of a camera a lot, videotaping. So
yeah.
But when I was doing 2 to 3 videos, 6 days a week, talking to my phone.
Yeah.
I mean, I was doing that for 3.5 months.
Yeah.
And, I have to work out really hard. I'm doing everything right and providing this, providing the training for my students so they had something to do, some sense of normalcy, regularity, to help them get through this. And, I was getting a lot of accolades. Oh, thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. It's weird. You're getting no feedback. You just stand there. Look, at least we're having feedback here. We're having interaction.
Sure. Yeah.
Standing there talking or performing or whatever you're doing to this thing. It's it's just weird.
Yeah, it was weird. By the end of it, I got kind of comfortable with it. Yeah. That was fine. It's fine. It wasn't but
it's a muscle. It's a muscle.
I was just kind of by the end of it, I did one, and I did it as a benefit for the West Milford Animal Shelter, which is the town I live in. I figure animals, animal shelter's an apolitical cause. So, although these days, who knows, someone will find somebody yell at you about it, but, it's everyone loves animals, So I'm I'll do it for an animal shelter kind of thing, because they could probably use the bread right now, during COVID and everything. So I did the first one, and then I got a really good response from it. So I decided to kind of keep doing them, and I did, I think 5 or 6 of them, something like that. And go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. You were talking about St. Patrick's Day and everything.
Yeah.
Happened basically on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
So that was gone, and then Cinco de Mayo. But think about what happened on Cinco de Mayo. How the irony? Cinco de Mayo fell on Taco Tuesday. And was canceled because of Corona.
Oh wow, that is pretty funny. Yeah. Isn't every Tuesday Taco Tuesday though?
Yeah, but Cinco de Mayo fell on Taco Tuesday.
Okay.
And by Corona. So
Yeah, but it was it was cool. I was trying to do it where I was learning new songs every week.
Yeah.
So
talk about songs.
Yeah.
You got one of the guitars tuned up to play for the audience?
I could play it too.
Right.
Let's see. Let me see if I got a pick. Let me see. Hang on.
Right. got a lot of guitars laying around.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Can you guys hear this all right? You guys hear that all right?
Yeah, definitely.
This is a, let's see. I'll play this song for you. This is a brand new song.
All right.
This song, actually, I tried to, it's kind of funny. I wrote this song, and then when I was writing the lyrics for it, I decided to kind of take Bob Dylan, "Tangled Up in Blue," the lyric, and use that kind of as the blueprint for it, but just like rewrite the story, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as good, of course, but I attempted. Still living in darkness about a month after the flood. Morning broke across the open sky. She left a note on the windshield on a paper stained in blood, saying, "Babe, there ain't no need to question why. Beyond the truth that I've been shown, between the past and the great unknown, I kept looking for things I couldn't find." Closed the ashtray, put back the seat, down the window and turned the key, headed on a little further down the line. Yeah, you're my angel, you're my love. Yes, indeed, you were born down in this faded mud. Part of me, regardless of what I have become, destiny keeps calling. Never knew love could be so strong. Stood up with her husband about the time I first left town, searching for a melody and a rhyme. Seen the light of the women, yeah, but they'd only let me down. Couldn't seem to shake her from my mind. I was playing a gig at a roadside bar just a little further south, out near where the old highway divides. She stepped out of the darkness and put her hand across my mouth, whispered, "Babe, there ain't no need to question why. No, you're my angel, you're my love. Yes, indeed, born down in this faded mud. Part of me, regardless of what I have become, destiny keeps calling. I never knew love could be so strong, and I know now that all ain't what it seems to be beyond the crowd. And all our jaded history, when it all comes down, what once was can never be again. It can never be again, no. You're my angel, you're my love. Yes, indeed, born down in this faded mud. Part of me, regardless of what I have become, destiny keeps calling. The last time that I saw her was when I dropped her off at home at a cheap motel outside the Delta Mines. As she turned around to leave me, and the headlights cast a glow, she whispered, babe, there ain't no need to question why. So many miles of traveling, so many miles of regret, so many miles get lost in time. Sometimes I still think of her, sometimes I just forget, searching for a melody in her eyes. Yeah, you're my angel, you're my love. Yes, indeed, born down in this faded love. Part of me, regardless of what I have become, destiny keeps calling. Never knew love could be so strong.
Wow, that is awesome, man.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
When I watch people play guitar or instrument and sing like that, and you know, that's art.
Oh, thanks.
You know, that's art. You know, to me, if I can't do it, it's art. If I can do it,
yeah.
If I can do it, it's not art.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, man.
Look, if I can do it, like here, when you see paintings and sculptures and stuff, right? You see like real classic artists. I mean, the beautiful stuff, things that takes talent. You see some of this modern art crap that I can make. Guess what? It's not art. You see music that I can do, and there's people that sell music that I could actually do. Guess what? That's not art. What that is art.
But that'll, you know, if I
That's my barometer. That's my barometer. If I can do it.
But if I took that approach, I you know, like I wouldn't listen to a lot of music that I like, you know. I mean, some of the music I listen to, I could certainly play. You know what I mean? But, so yeah, you know, yeah, I always loved writing songs, man. It's like my favorite thing to do. I feel it's like I know I'm biased, and you know, people will be like, but I mean, I feel it's like the highest possible art form as far as I'm concerned. Like,
oh God,
when you can meld like music and lyrics and a story, like to me, that's like my favorite thing to do. You know, there's like there's like, it's just when it all kind of goes like, you know, like that song, I had the title in my head for a while. Like these days, I've been writing off titles. You know, I have a title in my head, and then I'll like kind of come upon a chord progression or something that I like, and I like fill in. You know, I'll come up with a chorus, you know, and then I'll fill in the story around it. You know, so it's just cool. You know, it's fun to do, man. It's fun to do it. If it wasn't fun, I wouldn't do it. You know, I try and only do things that are fun, man. You know.
Hey, there's no dress rehearsal. You got one go around here.
No, just have a good time. You know. Jiu-jitsu too, right, Phil?
That's it, man. Gotta have fun. Gotta do what you love. You know.
Yeah.
Brian, it was great to have you on today.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thank you for having me on, man. It was fun.
Definitely do it again.
Yeah, whenever you want. We'll do it tomorrow if you want, you know.
Yeah, no, right? Yeah. Okay. It's like us hanging out anyway, right?
Yeah, you know. I appreciate it though, Phil, man. Thank you for the offer.
When are you playing next?
It's fun to come on. You know what? I don't actually have a date when I'm playing next, but definitely in July. But I'm working on some stuff right now, and I got a couple offers, but that are cool. But I just got to kind of work out some details. You know, it's a little tricky because in terms of with my band, there's 6 guys in my band, and one guy in my band takes care of his parents, and they're older, and my dad's older, so. You know, and we have different situations. So, of course, no one wants to get sick. And so I'm just trying to figure out, you know, who wants to do what, you know. But we'll be back out hammering.
And I tagged his band in the description.
Oh, cool.
So if you guys definitely click it, and I'm sure.
Is the link on Facebook or something?
So right now we're on Facebook and on YouTube. So all you YouTube guys, go to the Master Phil's Facebook to find this video, and Brian's band's page is tagged into it.
YouTube, find it. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yep.
There you go. Like and subscribe.
Absolutely.
Ding.
So yeah, we'll be back out hammering soon though, and we have a whole new album. Pretty much. I mean, we're just kind of putting some finishing touches on it and stuff, but we'll have a new record out. I don't know when it's going to come out yet, but it'll bless you, Phil. You know,
Bless you.
I've been
again
3 in a row for good luck, right?
We have a remote studio. No one gets anything.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll have a new record out sometime in the not too distant future because it's pretty close to being done. And awesome. Yeah, that's it. And we'll get back out and hammering. And
the title of this album, do you have that yet? Or
yeah, it's gonna be called. It's gonna be called. It's gonna be
Master Phil.
It is. It's going to be called Now More Than Ever is actually the name of it. Cool. Because I'll just tell you, I know you got to go, but real quick. So there was a congressman from Pennsylvania named Brian Fitzpatrick. Mm-hmm. He shares my name.
Yeah.
And I got a kick out of that. And he has campaign signs. His campaign slogan is Now More Than Ever.
Oh, no way.
So I wrote a song called Now More Than Ever. It has nothing to do with him, of course.
Oh, yeah, no.
And I started hashtagging all my music posts with Now More Than Ever, right? And I started getting messages from like people in his, like whatever his base, his area, whatever. And they were texting me thinking that I was him. Like, and they were like yelling, like, you know how you have the messenger and they have like the private. I never looked at the private thing. And then one day I looked at it and there were like 7 different messages from like supporters of this guy going, like you voted against this and blah, 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 like yelling stuff or some good thing. So I started responding to them and I was like, man, here's the deal. I got into this for the money and the chicks and I don't really care. I say like completely ridiculous things, like completely trolling, just hilarious. Like, yeah. So then I just started hashtagging More Than Ever, and I was just like the real Brian Fitzpatrick, like this dude stole my name, so I'm stealing his slogan. So I have this really great picture of it's just a plain white campaign sign.
Yeah.
On a lawn, and it's a real picture. And it's just Brian Fitzpatrick in like big black Helvetica black type.
Yeah.
Brian Fitzpatrick Now More Than Ever. So I'm just going to use that as the album.
Makes
my life easy. I'm lazy these days. Nice. Got too many other things to do. But so just to plug real quick, Michael McDermott has a new record out. He's a friend of mine. He's a fantastic songwriter. We'll have a new video coming out for that. My friend Stephen Gibb has a new podcast called Addiction Talks and Addiction Walks. And I'm doing some logo work for him, and we're going to get his brand up and running. And who else? And I think that's it for now, If I forgot any projects, those are the 2 main things I'm working on right now. So, so check those guys out if you're interested. And my band website is Brian Fitzpatrick and thebandbrothers.com. And all our music is available all over. And we have 7 records out. And check them out. Download them, steal them, whatever. I don't know making any money these days off that stuff anyway. Who cares? So anyway, thank you, Master Phil, for having me on. Thank you, Doug. I appreciate it, man. You guys are the best. And
thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for coming on. I mean,
of course,
the talent, just over the top.
The good looks. You left out the good looks.
It was a given.
All right, fellas.
All right.
You guys go ahead. No. I'm sorry. I interrupted you.
All right. Master Phil signing off. Strength and honor.
Love it.